Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted? Punished for something you didn't do? What if, after all that, you still chose to forgive? It sounds impossible, right? But what kind of love could make that possible? Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will change the way you see life, death, and hope. Forever. It all started in a quiet upper room in Jerusalem. Jesus gathered his 12 disciples for what he knew would be their final meal together. The air was thick with tension. He took bread, broke it, and said, "This is my body given for you." Then, he raised a cup of wine. "This is my blood," he told them, "poured out for the forgiveness of sins." This wasn't just dinner. It was the beginning of something new. A promise not built on rules, but on radical love and grace. But even in that sacred moment, betrayal was brewing. Judas, one of his own, was ready to sell him out for 30 pieces of silver. Later that night, Jesus went to pray in the Garden of Gethsemane. Under the moonlight, he fell to his knees, crushed by the weight of what was to come. "Father," he pleaded, "if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. But not my will, but yours be done." He knew the pain, the humiliation, and the cross that awaited him. Still, he chose obedience. Suddenly, the peace of the garden was shattered by the flicker of torches. Judas appeared, leading a group of soldiers. He walked up to Jesus and kissed him on the cheek. The signal. The Savior of the world was arrested. Throughout the long, dark night, Jesus was dragged from one sham trial to another. The religious leaders mocked him, spat on him, and accused him of crimes he never committed. By morning, they brought him before Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. Pilate looked at Jesus and declared, "I find no fault in this man." But the crowd, whipped into a frenzy, roared back, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" To keep the peace, Pilate washed his hands of the matter and handed Jesus over to his soldiers. They twisted a crown of thorns and jammed it onto his head. They beat him, laughed at him, and forced him to carry his own heavy cross through the crowded streets of Jerusalem. Finally, they reached Golgotha, the place of the skull. There they nailed his hands and feet to the wooden beams. With every strike of the hammer, history was being rewritten. Above his head, a sign read, "Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews." As the sun hung high in the sky, a strange darkness fell over the land. And from the cross, Jesus spoke words that still echo through time. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." The crowd jeered. The soldiers gambled for his clothes. The pain was unimaginable, but his love was stronger. Finally, he cried out, "It is finished." At that moment, the earth trembled, and the thick veil in the temple, which separated people from God's holy presence, was torn in two from top to bottom. The barrier was broken. The Son of God had given his life for the world. A heavy silence fell. It seemed like all hope was lost, but the story doesn't end in darkness. 3 days later, just as the sun began to rise, a group of women went to the tomb to anoint his body. But when they arrived, the massive stone sealing the entrance was rolled away. The tomb was empty. As they stood there confused and afraid, an angel appeared. "Why do you seek the living among the dead?" he asked. "He is not here. He has risen." The impossible had happened. Death itself had been defeated. The news spread like wildfire. The disciples ran to see for themselves. Peter and John burst into the empty tomb, finding only the linen burial cloths left behind. Later that day, Jesus appeared to a heartbroken Mary Magdalene. She was weeping until she heard a familiar voice call her name. "Mary!" She turned, saw him, and fell to her knees in worship. He was alive. That evening, he appeared to his disciples, who were hiding behind locked doors, terrified. "Peace be with you," he said, showing them the wounds in his hands and his side. Their fear instantly melted into overwhelming joy. Their sorrow turned into unshakable faith. The resurrection wasn't just a historical event, it's a living promise. It's a promise that no matter how dark your night is, the dawn will always come. It's a promise that no mistake is too big, no failure is final, and no death is strong enough to overcome his love. The cross showed us the depth of his sacrifice, but the empty tomb proved his ultimate victory. The passion and resurrection of Jesus is the greatest story ever told, not just because of what happened, but because it happened for you and for me. His love isn't just an ancient story, it's alive and active today. And his victory can become your victory. If this story moved you, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. What does the resurrection mean to you personally? Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs a message of hope, and subscribe so you don't miss our next video. We'll be exploring what Jesus did after the resurrection, and trust me, you won't believe how it changed the world forever. Thanks for watching.